Hey guys, let's talk about the Ingenuity Fab and Speed wheel tool. It's a tool that allows you to get the perfect offset and overall dimension for the wheel tire combo you need for your car. It's a great tool. I had very good luck using it. Was able to get the right wheel and tire combo first try. It's pretty easy to use, so it's fairly intuitive. It's affordable and accurate. Let's jump into it and see how it works. So here's the iFab and Speed tool. It's pretty easy, kind of self-explanatory, but here's how it works. We can set the overall dimension as far as diameter of the wheel tire combo by extending the front plate and the back plate. As you can see, the back plate is marked with dimensions from 21 to 33, and this is going to represent overall wheel diameter. Once we place it back on under the front plate here, we can select what we want. Say we're looking for a 24-inch setup. Got it right there on the 24-inch block. We'll run our 2 bolts through here, wing nuts on the back, very easy, and then we've got our dimension set up. Next thing we'll do is we'll switch over to the width of the tire. So the way this works is you have a bar that bolts to the top of the tool that represents the width of the tire. Since it's bolted to the hub, we can swing this thing, swing the tool through the motion and see if it makes contact with any points. If we want to go wider or smaller, the tool comes with a series of bars here, and the idea is that you can stack these and slide them in and out to make the dimension that's most correct for your application. Let's get it on the car and see what it looks like. Okay, here we've got the tool set up to the proper dimensions that we want. I've got it set up to run a 225 45/17. That means it's a 24-inch diameter setup, and the tire width is about 8.5 or something like that. 8.6, I believe. So we've got it set up, we've got it bolted on, and I'm just using 2 of the lug nuts from the wheels to hold it in place. So it's bolted up here. Now the next thing to do is to swing it through the range of motion and see if it contacts anything. And right now, the axle on this car is at full droop. So it is way higher than ride height right now, but it's a good place to start. Okay, it looks like it didn't make contact. The closest area it got from the front side is right about here. Let's pull this over so you can see it just a little bit better. There's about a half-inch clearance between here and the front of the fender well. Pretty common for this body style car though. Alright, we're underneath the car now. And again, I'm going to swing it through the range of motion and make sure it doesn't come in contact with anything. Looks good. Plenty of room up through here. The inside, it looks like I might even be able to go a little bit wider, but I like having that room because with a solid axle car and articulation, the top of the tire is going to come inward. So I've got some room there. That looks good. Keep coming through, and it looks good all the way down to here. My next area of concern is, believe it or not, the 4-link bar. I have a TCI 4-link on this car. It gives a little bit more room than a leaf spring car, but let's check that just to make sure that there's enough clearance there. Okay, so here's the 4-link bar. Now let's swing the setup here, the tool, through the range of motion past the 4-link. And okay, I've got some really good room here, about 1.5 inches, so there's no factor there. And you can see, if it were a leaf spring setup car, I would lose a little bit. The leaf spring would be about right here, which would make it a lot closer. So having just this 4-link bar actually kind of helps here. In some other aspects, as far as mini tubbing and some other things, it's kind of made things more difficult, but for this, it looks like it's actually a bonus. So that looks good. Okay, now I've got the car set up, the axle pretty much at ride height. So let's take another look underneath the vehicle and see what kind of room we have. So it still looks like there's plenty of room. I even have more. I could probably go lower on the car, and which is good, because then as the suspension again goes up and down in its travel, it'll leave me plenty of room. So it looks like no issues there. Good on the outside. Let's bring it all the way through. Its range of motion looks good, about 1.5 inches there. Okay, now I've got the car, or the axle rather, at ride height. Let's swing the tool through the range of motion and check again. Make sure we don't have any contact issues. Coming through looks good. Kind of tight here, about 1.5 inches, but still plenty of room even with suspension articulation. Coming all the way through here. Looks good. One worry point here with the 4-link bar. Plenty of room. and back up through the top of the wheel well here. Awesome. Everything's good. Alright, so after using the tool and some careful measurement, we found that we can comfortably run a 17x7 on the back of this car. So I ordered one, maybe because I was just a little bit nervous that maybe my measurements weren't quite right. I figured it'd be easier to return one than four. Anyhow, we ordered one wheel, or I rather ordered one wheel, and it turns out great. Everything clearance-wise looks just like it did with the tool, and 17x7 is going to be good for us. I probably could have gone 17x8 and had some rubbing issues. The biggest part was finding the correct backspace. This is a 4-inch backspace wheel. I could have gone 4.5, which was a little bit harder to find, and 5-inch would cause some contact issues, and then I would need the mini tub. Again, the reason I'm not mini tubbing this car is because my 4-link is in the way. Down the road, the suspension will probably get a version 2.0 as well, and at that time, I'll probably mini tub the car. But anyhow, 17x7 worked great. The Ingenuity Fab and Speed tool saved me a lot of headache and led to the fact that I just needed to order one wheel. Got it right the first time, so I highly recommend it.